Hello everybody and welcome back, finally, to Combat Carnage. After a little break, we are back and the bots are back as well for this special side event. So, let's explain how it goes down. Today for you we have Combat Carnage Legends Part 1 of 4. This works sort of like battlebots, bounty hunters, and our legend is Dantomkia. And the first round battles, Part 1 of course, Thunder vs Eyesore, Panic Attack vs Firestorm, Blip vs Elevator, and Millennium Falcon vs Bulldog Breed. First up for you today we have Firestorm vs Panic Attack, a rematch from Robot Wars, which I believe a battle that has happened, I think, 3 times. In comes Panic Attack. And in comes Firestorm. First house robot in this battle is Matilda, the Tuscan flywheel. And Sergeant Bash with a flamethrower and the pincers. Here is Panic Attack. They're back in Combat Carnage Extreme. They have a weight of 60 grams. They are a lifter / control bot. They're a Robot Wars competitor and they were knocked out in Series 1 by lightning and they have a low ground clearance. And their opponent is the mighty Firestorm. Firestorm with a weight of 57 grams. It weighs less than Panic Attack. It's a front hinge flipper. It's a Robot Wars competitor. It's a challenge belt holder at the minute and has a sleek and fast design. In the arena for the house rolls is Sergeant Bash with a weight of 48 grams. And Matilda with a weight of 78 grams.
Roboteers, stand by.
Here we go for the first battle of the special episode.
1. Activate.
And immediately those two meet, but Firestorm goes up and over the top of Panic Attack and now around the back and slams it into that far arena wall. You see a replay in the bottom corner. Firestorm retreats. Panic Attack's very nearly into Matilda's CPZ there, but now is shoved further in by Firestorm. Matilda now gets a Tuscan, trying to get Panic Attack to do some damage. Panic Attack needs to get out of there. He's going to need to self-right. It's upside down. Firestorm waiting to see how Matilda reacts to Panic Attack being in her special little area. Now shoves her out. Cut Panic Attack out of that CPZ. Firestorm doing wheelies. Now Firestorm waiting for Panic Attack to self-right and is doing so, but it's on its side. Not quite going to be able to self-right from there. Going to need to bring it back and try again. It can't quite roll over onto that lifting self-righter because of the way that it's got those sort of pointy bits on each side, but it's folded over now, and I don't know if they're going to be able to self-right from there, and I don't think they are. This could be a very quick fight for a once champion of the Robot Wars arena. Clearly not the best at the Combat Carnage Arena, it must be said. Firestorm shoving Panic Attack into Matilda's CPZ. Once again, Matilda now getting her Tuscan once again. Firestorm's still in there. Nope, gets away now. Now on the back of Matilda actually. Not thinking of anything I'd hope. But even though this is extreme, and a side event in extreme, so Matilda trying to get Panic Attack out and a little piece has fallen off, so maybe they'll be able to self-right now. I don't know if it's still working. Probably snapped the pneumatic piston or whatever works that self-righter. It's now stood up on end. I'd assume by the forks doing that. Matilda now, I don't think is going to let Panic Attack leave. They might do. Now Panic Attack's up the right way. Are they going to move? They're trying to, yes, and they get away. But Firestorm, they're coming with another charge to push Panic Attack back into Matilda's CPZ. Panic Attack now lowering the forks. Firestorm goes up the forks of Panic Attack, but Panic Attack is still in at CPZ. Now Firestorm's in underneath Panic Attack. Panic Attack's very near that arena wall there. Now it's on end. They should be able to use that self-righter. Firestorm there. is actually deeper in that CPZ, so Matilda's attacking them. Turn Firestorm up and over, but Panic Attack is also on that arena wall. Will they be able to get away from there? Firestorm self-righting on top of the Panic Attack, actually. Panic Attack seems to be stuck there, but Firestorm in behind Matilda. So they get free now, but in comes Matilda with that massive flywheel at the back. A heavy flywheel, of course. Firestorm now in a bit of trouble, but no. In behind Panic Attack, and Panic Attack has gone out of the arena. Matilda's been flipped on her side in the process. Now Firestorm, I think, has self-righter and has done. And now the battle is clearly won, but Matilda wants a little bit of revenge. Now Firestorm shoved into that CPZ. You can see it hopping across the floors. It's pushed sideways by Matilda. Obviously not too happy about them attacks in her CPZ, of course. But now she's bringing in that flywheel to do some damage. Hopefully Firestorm doesn't take too much. They've got to go through and do some more battles to finally beat the champion, of course. But they've taken damage. I think one of them little bits of the underside has cracked. I don't know if Firestorm going the same way as Panic Attack. And next up is Eyesore versus Thermidor 2. In comes Eyesore, getting stuck on the wall temporarily. And in comes Thermidor 2, back again in the Extreme Series. In the arena for the house show is Mr. Psycho with a weight of 283 grams. And alongside him is Cassius Chrome with a weight of 251 grams. First up, we have Thermidor 2 with a weight of 77 grams. It's a rear hinge flipper, of course. It's a Robo's competitor. It beat Splinter and Cannon in their Mayhem battle earlier on in the series, and possibly has a weak flipper mount. And their opponent for tonight is Eyesore with a weight of 109 grams. It's a Crusher, of course. It lost to Razor in the Crusher Crunch Up. It is new to Combat Carnage Extreme, and it has a new and untested design. Cassius Chrome and Mr. Psycho looking on, waiting for the battle to start.
Roboteers, stand by.
Here we go then for the second battle of the Robot Wars Combat Carnage Legends.
Activate.
Now here we go then, Thermidor 2 and Eyesore meet in the middle. They bring that Crusher in Eyesore, but it does not get anything in. But there's a flip from Thermidor. Eyesore will use that articulating tail thing that got stuck on the back to self-right. But now it has Thermidor by the wheel, and that crushing claw is going through it. And has temporarily pinned it, and now has lifted up Thermidor 2. As it is the lighter machine, Eyesore will not struggle to do that. Down it comes with a fearful bashing. We'll have to see if it has done any damage or shooken anything loose inside of the internals. Now Eyesore feeding Thermidor 2 into Mr. Psycho, who's feeding Thermidor 2's flipper in and underneath Mr. Psycho actually. Hopefully he won't break it off with them weak flipper mounts, which we did see in their Mayhem, if you do remember correctly. It ended up breaking up when it tried to self-right Splinter. Mr. Psycho is picking up Thermidor 2 by that flipper. You can see it, I think, slowly separating from the chassis. I think it's still attached at the minute though, and so is Eyesore actually. They have that articulating arm next to the crushing arm to separate machines so they don't have to stay together. And I think they're going to demonstrate it now by flicking Thermidor 2 off the end of their little spike they've got there. Thermidor 2 trying to flip Mr. Psycho's chin. Don't ask me why. There it goes. There's that separating arm that Eyesore has. Thermidor 2 is still in that CPZ though. Mr. Psycho's got his arm around him. He's going to pick him up now. Eyesore's getting out of the way, wisely so. Thermidor 2 is being punished for being in that CPZ, and now he's dropped by Mr. Psycho. Mr. Psycho now sitting on top of that flipper, Thermidor 2 actually. He's trying to flip him. I don't think he'll be able to flip that weight of that 200 and something grams of Mr. Psycho. Point proven by the flipper just failing to exist anymore. It's gone. That's it. No more flipper for Thermidor 2, and I think that has also extinguished their chances and hopes of getting through this competition. And so is that. There goes a wheel. Our wheel has been plucked off by Eyesore. Thermidor 2 is through their mayhem battle, but they are not getting through this Legends first part. Now Eyesore, I think, has peeled the other wheel off as well. That's hanging loosely off of Thermidor. Thermidor 2, it's bigger this series, but it has not helped it at all up against this crushing arm of Eyesore, which I think we will see it compete up against Razor for the toughest crusher there is. But we'll have to see if that battle becomes a reality. He's got Thermidor 2 once again by that little flipper mount on the front. Now wheelies away. We're celebrating. I mean, I would too, because I know it does not have any wheels left to move Thermidor. And it looks like Eyesore will be in contention to go up against the Combat Carnage Legend. Cassius Crow now comes in for a little bit of a see and a feel. But he's coming with the claws, punching arms, which I think is already broken. Cassius Crow. Eyesore tried to grab a hold of one of the wheels, but no. Moves out of the way for Mr. Psycho to come in. Now Cassius Crow's going to sit just slightly out of the picture, making as much racket as he can. Thermidor 2 has now been placed on the arena flipper. Needs a little bit more of an adjustment, says Mr. Psycho. And in a minute, I'm sure we're going to see the broiled lobster fly. Let Mr. Psycho just do his little bit there. Rearrange the flipper a bit more, and there we go. Everyone better dodge out of the way. That's what does so, and over goes Thermidor 2. They are out of this competition. And Eyesore goes through. Cassius Crow does a little victory spin after taking damage from nothing. And next up for tonight, it's Bulldog Breed versus Tide Fighter for the third fight of this evening. In comes Tide Fighter. In comes Bulldog Breed. In the arena for House Robbers is Growler with a weight of 106 grams. And the Jaws, of course. And Shunt with a weight of 85 grams. First on the chopping block is Tide Fire with a weight of 110 grams. It's a rear hinge flipper. It has little fighting experience, and it went out in Series 1 to Stinger and Atomic in the first round battle. And this year it has a wider stance. And their opponent for today is Bulldog Breed with a weight of only 33 grams. It's very light. It's a rear hinge flipper, the same as Tide Fighter. It's a Robots competitor. It is new to Combat Carnage and it hates spinners. As said before, Growler awaits in his CPZ, and so does Shunt.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
Here we go then, 2 rear hinge flippers, and immediately Bulldog Breed is upside down, but he's self-righted. Still on top of TIE Fighter though, they're into that CPZ with Growler. Seems to be a common theme going into that CPZ. Bulldog Breed is now in and underneath Growler. Growler sitting on top. Once again, as we said before this fight started, Bulldog Breed is very light. In comes Shunt to stop Bulldog Breed from flipping Growler over. Growler now gets out of it and returns to do some damage. Shunt can now go and return to his CPZ. TIE Fighter is awaiting for Bulldog Breed to get out of there, which I don't seem to be doing. They're pinned in by Growler at the minute. TIE Fighter is in and underneath Bulldog Breed. Bulldog Breed's on her back up against the arena wall. It could be going out here, same as Firestorm and same as their opponent, and there they go. Bulldog Breed has gone out of the arena in quick succession. That might be one of the fastest fights we've ever seen. But now we get TIE Fighter versus a House Robot. Growler very nearly turned up and over, but they survived for the minute. They turn around to that CPZ, but Growler comes in with a massive charge there. Now Growler. He's gone up that front flipper once again, but TIE Fighter's missed a flip. But now they're getting another one in, and over goes Growler. Replay in the bottom corner. Shunt now comes in with that axe to do some reprimanding. Damage, some punishment, whatever you want to call it. TIE Fighter's getting it. Shunt now dragging TIE Fighter across the arena floor, nearly rolling it over. TIE Fighter's a big machine, don't get me wrong. But now one of the sides has come off, that leaves them exposed to batteries and wires and cables and perhaps the gas canister as well. Turning around now in behind Shunt, can't quite get in underneath it because of Shunt's low ground clearance and them scoops at the back, but they're in behind it now. Shunt just about on his feet still, nearly up and over once again. Shunt needs to get away from there. TIE Fighter's trying to get in and underneath there. Shunt reverses and moves out of the way. Now hopefully get Growler and shoves everyone into that CPZ. TIE Fighter now going to flip Growler out of the arena if he can. But Cease is called. They will have to stop. And I think they're going to because the flippers come off as they do a little spin. TIE Fighter survives, but it's missing a lot of pieces, and Bulldog Breed is left outside of the arena, same way as Firestorm and Panic Attack. In that same corner patrol zone as well. Here we go then for the final battle. Tonight we have Blip versus Elevator. Bring in Elevator. Bring in Blip. Entering for outros is Shunt with a weight of 85 grams once again. And joining him is Mr. Psycho with a weight of 283 grams. First up is Elevator with a weight of 97 grams. It is a grabber/lifter bot. It has exposed wheels. It is unseen in Combat Carnage and was recently rebuilt. It has that bucket at the front to lift and scoop their opponents. And their opponent for today is Blip with a weight of 67 grams. It's a rear hinge flipper, of course. It's a battlebots competitor. It has been unseen in Combat Carnage and has an experimental flywheel flipper. Now everyone's looking on, of course.
Roboteers, stand by.
Here we go for the last battle for tonight.
1. Activate.
Here we go, they both meet in the middle. Blip's around the side of Elevator, trying to get a flip in, and it does. Elevator rolls onto the side, but it rolls back. Trying to get a nice grab onto Blip, and it's got Blip in that bucket. It tips Blip up onto that arena wall. close towards the camera, trying to use that bucket to some advantage. We're not 100% sure what they're doing. Sliding on the bottom of Blip. Blip now self-rides off of the inner wall, using that flywheel flipper we were talking about earlier. Again, Elevator gets that bucket in and underneath Blip, who's now been rolled into Shunt's for CPZ now. Shunt brings that axe in. Blip has that smooth underbelly, and they've got Shunt's axe in where they don't want it, on that underbelly, where it is soft, of course. That chassis withstanding the hits at the minute. They need to use that flipper to get out of there, and I think Shunt has done some damage there. I think on the replay you can see that axe going straight through the bottom chassis of Blip. Don't know what damage that has caused, but now Shunt, the tip of Shunt's axe has actually taken some damage as well, actually. Bringing that axe in quite forcefully, and I think there's a wheel on the ground in that CPZ. And I think Shunt's taken out that other wheel as well. Now, Elevator's come in for some more punishment, trying to lift Blip up, but Mr. Psycho says, hang on a minute, we're not going to have any of that, thank you very much. Now, grabs Elevator and drags him away like a spoiled child. And I think that other wheel of Blip has come loose as well. It's been pushed up, not held in very well. I'm not too sure if they were doing much. In all fairness, now that flywheel flipper does not seem to have enough power to get Blip off of that sidewall. It's sort of perched there perfectly, but no, they've been pushed out, and I think they've given up there. I think they put down the controls. There's no more movement out of Blip. Shunt's bringing that axe in once again, but that axe just sort of slides off the bottom of Blip. Doesn't seem to do much damage at all. Shunt's trying to do some damage now with that axe. It's just sort of flaking away, if I do say so myself. Trying to use some scoops or something to do some damage. It's now got in underneath Blip. Now it's trying to do something, I'm not 100% sure. There's something dangling off of Blip actually as well. They're using the flipper though to try and get Shunt away from them. There's a wheel in the corner patrol zone. One of the little forks is now fallen off of Blip. They've been pushed into that CPZ further. The CPZ has played quite a major role in this episode. There goes the other wheel, just slowly rolling away. Shunt's now abandoned them for Mr. Psycho to come in and do some damage and perhaps dispose of Blip, because I have a feeling that they are not going to be going through. Well, I have a pretty good feeling about that. Now Refbot comes in to count out Blip as Mr. Psycho has pushed Blip outside of that CPZ. We have a change of music, of course. Mr. Psycho awaits with the claw. He wants a piece of Blip to dispose of it. The battlebots contender has not done very well. The hammer of Mr. Psycho comes down, and so does Blip onto that pit of oblivion. In comes Elevator once again. Hopefully doesn't get dragged away like the spoiled brat it is. I think it is pretty evident that Elevator has won and will be continuing. Shunt having a misfire of the axe actually. There it goes finally. Trying to do some damage to that flipper of Blip. Bright blue, electric, of course. Blip receives a whack from the Mr. Psycho sledgehammer. And again. Camera on board, of course. Now, Mr. Psycho. Blip trying to flip Mr. Psycho, which, if you haven't noticed from Thermidor's experience, does not tend to go well. And now Mr. Psycho has a place where he can grab you by and he's going to plop you down onto the arena flipper. We're going to see the Blip fly, turn it into a bloop, and it's definitely a sad time for the Blip team as they have not got very far at all, and the flipper sends them to the opposite ends of the arena. A replay in the bottom corner, of course, as always. Once again, Mr. Psycho continues his rampage. Bringing in that jaw once again. The music kicks up a gear as it's just plain old destruction from here on out. Shunt is now making his way towards that pit of oblivion. He activates it, the pit goes down, and I think the final resting place for Blip is for sure that dark looming hole. And down it goes, coming with a cease, of course. Mr. Psycho disposes of Blip. And there, the final battle is done for this first part of this special side series. Combat Carnage Champions. We'll see you in a couple of weeks' time to see who joins them.
Please remember, building robots is dangerous and shouldn't be attempted without great care. For more information, or if you'd like to build a robot, you must first join the Robot Wars Club. Send a cheque or postal order for £12.95 to Robot Wars London, W1A3AR. If you build a qualifying robot, your membership fee will be refunded. For more information, or if you'd like to come and see the amazing spectacle of Robot Wars being recorded live, call our hotline or visit our website.